So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I hope you all are having a great day. I'd like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Still have not figured out how, or I'm going to get Twitter back on board. I don't know what happened to them, but I guess one day I will figure it out. So, at the top of the show, I'd like to say, the Demetra K Show promotes Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. So today we are going to talk, we're going to start off talking about that of Jada Pinkett-Smith. Of course, you guys have heard a copious amount of things about her in her new book that she is releasing. And so I've seen a bunch of conversation going on about her, and it's not really good, right? So we're going to have a conversation about that, and then of course we could talk about whatever else you guys want to talk about. Hello, Thunder, how you doing? And Third Coast McQueen, I hope you're having a great day. Robin, what's going on with you? Long time no see. Welcome back. So as you guys can also see, it's just me sitting here by myself. Not sure what happened with Donovan. I sent him a link, called him, he did not answer. But I should also tell you guys, what was it, Tuesday, we had a show and it got really heated. So I don't want to speculate as to why he's not here. I have not spoken to Donovan since then. So, I don't know. But nevertheless, he is not here. I am here. Hello, Suki B. How are you doing this evening? So I'm gonna give everybody else just a small chance to come on here. Hello, Anthony Johnson. How you doing? Chicago in the house. Entree, what's going on with you? And Robin says, yes, thank you, sis. Been working a different shift. All right. Well, I'm glad that you have gotten a break to join us. It's been a long time, couple of months, right? Mike Nice, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. And let's see who else came on here. Quicks, how are you doing? So, of course, as I said, and Mars Dream Production, what's going on with you? As I was saying, and then, of course, we'll get a little bit more into it. So, unless you've lived under a rock. Hello, Jan Michael, how are you doing? Yes, prosperity to Donovan, whatever he is doing. And I don't know, like I said, I have not talked to him, so I don't want to speculate as to what is going on with him. I just know that he is not here. He has a link. If he wants to pop up, he can. But in the meantime, we're going to keep it rocking and rolling. All right. So as I was saying, unless you guys lived under a rock, you cannot escape what is going on with Jada Pinkett-Smith. Now, okay, let me say this before I get started, okay? Because it's kind of like the elephant in the room type of thing, right? So, of course, we know what's going on in the Middle East between Israel and the Gaza Strip, Palestinian people, and Hamas, right? It's a whole lot of stuff going on. I am watching the situation from all angles. And so I do have an opinion about it. I just kind of want to hold off on it simply because, well, there's a lot of reasons, but really because what happens with us, especially as Black people in the United States, we have so many things that are going on with us, right? And, if you want to keep it real, Black people are experiencing, maybe not to that magnitude right now, what they are going through in the Gaza Strip. But Black people, we go through hell on earth in America every day. And unless it makes like national news, we rarely really hear much about it, right? And so I try my best not to get distracted by other things that are going on. Of course, we know that the United States is all in, right? The United States is all in support of Israel. And what happened to them, I think it was like the 7th of October, where of course, you guys know they were bombed by Hamas. And so the United States has pledged their support to them. But, what about their support to Black people, right? Now, of course, we never want to engage in whataboutisms. But what I'm saying is I think we should stay focused on what is going on with us. Of course, as Black people, we've been asking this United States government for a lot of stuff, right? We've been asking for reparations. We've been asking for a crime bill that protects us. We've been asking for land and, just a whole host of things that we have not gotten. Now, of course, the elections are going to be coming up in 2024. And Joe and Kamala are trying to keep their seat in the White House. And in order to keep their seat in the White House, they need Black people, but they continue to ignore us. And so I don't want to say this is a distraction on purpose to keep us from not focusing on what we're asking for, but it definitely does not help when we take our eye off of what's going on here. Now, there might be some people saying, well, we can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. Tis true, tis true. It is very true that we can. However, I think we as Black people really need to start focusing on what's going on in our community first, right? Our community is completely dilapidated, right? It is devoid of a lot of things. And so I say prayers to, them in the Middle East, especially those who are being affected severely. And then we're going to keep it pushing here. But there will be a time that I will give it a little bit more of a conversation. Just right now, I'm just kind of, watching everything unfold. So anyway, who else came on here? And Mars, you say facts. And Eunice, how are you doing? Long time no see to you as well. Welcome back. And Simone says, is it true that Israel police train United States police? It is true. It is very true. So there's a lot of things going on with that, and the connection to the United States, and even the connection to Black people. So it's really about knowing history, and really just knowing where and when we should get involved in other people's stuff. All right. And Robin says, somebody asked me what I think about what's going on over there. I told them that I don't think anything about it. They don't look like us. Yeah, there's a lot of people who feel that way as well. So, and Mara says, try not getting, I'm sorry, they're not getting my vote. Yeah. And the Biden administration, they know that. They know that there's a lot of Black people who have just checked out and says, nah, not this time, right? I'm not going to vote for y'all. So they're trying everything they can do. Of course, you guys, I don't know if y'all saw where President Joe Biden kind of wished George Floyd a happy birthday. And he talked about the watered down George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that has no teeth. He talked about it on the federal level, and he's wishing that Congress would do something more on the local and state level. It's a bunch of, nothing really. It's just to get us all hyped up. Oh, President Joe Biden, he said happy birthday to George Floyd. Of course, you guys know what happened with him in 2020. But it's more symbolism, and it just is, right? Because if Joe Biden really wanted to do more, he could. And let's see here. And Lunice, how you doing? Says, as long as Jada presents as pro-Black, simple-minded folks will ride with her to hell. The culture isn't known for critically thinking skills, all emotion on a remedial level. I'm glad that you said that, because I'm going to try to take this I'm going to give y'all my opinion on it, and I'll open up the link and we can have a conversation about it. And Eunice, all is well with me. And Simone says they're sending BLM tips on how to treat tear gas victims. Don't do that. Yeah, and I don't know how true it is that BLM, they were in support of the Palestinians. I don't know how true it is, but I saw a lot of them folks on Twitter really upset about it. So let's see here. Gary Mack, how you doing? Says, aren't they giving them illegal immigrants voting rights to replace the Black vote? I don't know if they're giving it to them. Seems like they would have to be a citizen first, but that is a speculation that might be what's going on. So it all remains to be seen. Facts, not feelings. How are you? He says, what Israel is doing in Palestine, they have that in store for Blacks. Remember, Israeli soldiers train U.S. cops. Yes, that is true. And don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. How you doing? He says, they out votes now. And Patty, how you doing? And don't tell me I don't need a man. He says, don't need a man, rather. He says, yeah, they want us to vote for them. Hey, Freddie, how you doing? Yeah, so of course, that's what they want. All right, so let's try to get into this topic of Jada Pinkett-Smith. All right. And I don't talk about her to gossip, because I really don't like the gossip, don't follow a lot of it. But as I said, it's kind of hard to escape all the conversation around her. So Jada is writing a book called Worthy. And in this book, she kind of discloses a lot of things and admits to some things. And some of those things, and she's been on a book tour, if you will. So she's been all over the place. She talks about her and Will being separated and not divorced, but separated since 2016. And she says, so she understands. And I watched a whole bunch of interviews and stuff on her this afternoon so I can get a better understanding of what's going on. Because I'm not one that like to go off of a lot of blurps or whatever from the internet. People see kind of like a clip and they kind of run away with it. So I did spend some time watching it. So she says that her and Will had been separated, not divorced, since 2016. And she says that they have not divorced because they made a vow, when they got married, that they would not divorce. So she said that they're trying to keep to that promise, but she says that they separated and she's living in her own house and he has his own house or whatever, because it just got too hard to try to make it work. So she said that they are still figuring things out. Of course, she talked about Tupac, which, a lot of people really seem to have a lot of conversation around. She talked about how they were soulmates, but she said that she wasn't attracted to him. It wasn't like a sexual thing. So y'all try to figure that out. She also disclosed, I guess, that Tupac had alopecia and that he asked her to marry him when he, went to jail. He was in Rikers Island. She said that she understood why he asked her to marry him, because she said when she saw him, he was not in good shape. He was in bad shape. And he wanted somebody, I guess, to see him and spend time with him. But she said they didn't need to get married for her to do that, because she was not going to leave him there to rot. So she, I guess, visit him and all of that. She also talked about the slap. You guys know the Oscar slap, where Will Smith felt like he needed to defend her against Chris Rock, making jokes about her. And she said that it caught her by surprise, too. She says that she does not condone what happened. She said also that she was surprised that Will had even referred to her as his wife, because they had not been living as husband and wife since 2016, so about 7 years now. So she said that kind of caught her off guard at the time. But she said that it was a lot of pent up frustration, I guess, on, I don't know, maybe Will's behalf, because Chris Rock had kind of talked about her before when he hosted the Oscars. And she also went on to say that because there was a lot of rumors, because we've all heard that Will and Jada, that they are swingers. She says, no, we were never swingers. She said, but yes, we were separated. So she says, I can understand how a lot of people thought that maybe we were swingers, because we never told anybody that we were not together. So maybe they saw him out with somebody. And of course, y'all know about August Alsina. So people just began to speculate that they had an open relationship. And so she says that, they take full responsibility for that and are kind of leading people on, even though it was nobody's business. But she says she understands, but they were never swingers. She says that they had separated quite a few times throughout the relationship. And then she says also with the August Alsina thing, she says that I guess maybe at the time they were together, that she called herself an adulteress. And she says that she then realized the mistake that she made when she brought Will to the red table. She says, kind of, I guess, and I'm paraphrasing, the way that she framed it, it framed it almost like, well, it was an oops, or it like she wasn't at fault. And she says, I was completely at fault. And I take the blame and all of that for how it got out. Y'all remember she said it was an entanglement. She had Will sitting at the table looking very dejected, like he was going to cry. He was hurt and all that other stuff. So she says, yes, that is her fault. And she should have just taken full responsibility for the affair. And this is the part that kind of really made me really sit down and listen, because she says that she had thoughts of taking herself out of here. You guys know what I mean with that. But she said when she was 21, she had a really bad bout of depression. So she suffers from depression. So she says when she was 21, that she had a really bad time with it. That she called her mom and said, hey, Mom, I need you to come help me, because I'm thinking about doing it, taking herself out of there. So she says that her mom did come and help her, but she says that her mom was going through a lot of things on her own, because her mom was a heroin addict and she was in recovery at that time. Also, Jada did say that she was selling crack when she was younger, because her mom was doing drugs and she kind of was like on her own. She said that she did not want to be a girlfriend of a drug dealer and she was not going to do drugs. So she decided to put some money in her pocket that she would sell crack. All right, so back to her taking herself out of here. So she says at 21, she had a real bad time of it. Then when she turned 40, she says that it came back like really, really strong, to where she thought of ways of taking herself out of here. but she said she didn't want her children to know that that's what it was. So she said she thought about driving herself off of a cliff. So she said she would go by different cliffs, whatever, to see which one would be the highest one that would really just take her out of there, and just do the job. But then she said one day her son Jaden, I guess they kind of knew she had depression, but she says that the family, including Will, didn't really, I guess, know how bad it was. So she said one day her son Jaden came to her when she was in a room or whatever and says, "Hey, my friends, their parents did some sort of plant medicine. I can't think of the name of it, but some sort of a medicine that's a plant. It's not marijuana or anything like that. It's something else. They tried it and it helped them with whatever they had going on. So she invited their dads, because I guess who it was over to the house, and they told her all about it. And then she took the plant, however she took the plant, and she says that her life has been much better, and it opened up a lot of things for her so that she can understand. And so she said the book Worthy is really kind of like a journey of self, and telling herself that she is worthy. So she's just kind of telling her story, I guess, from the beginning until now. And she says, even though that she's very wealthy, she doesn't want for anything. She has everything she wants. She says she felt guilty and that she wanted to take herself out of here because she's like, I have everything I need and everything I want. I see the comments going up and down, but I'm going to read them. I'm trying to stay focused. So, she says she felt bad because she wanted to take herself out of there. She says, I have everything I want. But she says she just really had, a really bad time of depression. Now, before I get into the comments, I'm going to say this. I have seen a lot of the comments about Jada being a bad person. And before I really did my research today, and listen, I'm not going to really give my opinion. I'm just telling y'all what I learned, okay? Before I did my research, I was like, wow, she's really an evil person. She's not a good person. But then as I watched the interviews, I'm like, oh, because she wasn't really talking bad about Will or anything like that. Now, I guess in some other interviews, maybe she's talking about, I didn't see it myself, that I guess Will wasn't able to please her. I don't know how true that is. I didn't personally hear or see those things. But she really spent most of the time talking about herself, the depression and the book and just kind of different things throughout her life. But she did, say that Will is a good person, and that he's a very strong person, really kind of just going through what they're going through and just, I guess, kind of maybe putting up with her. I don't know. So I'm going to get in this comment section and see what y'all got to say, because I see it is going off. All right, here we go. I had to take a deep swallow. Okay, so she says, she to me is a very totally disgusting individual. She's classless. There's just some things that you don't discuss in the public eye. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of been a sentiment. Again, she has written a book. Now I don't know if it's out yet or if it's getting ready to come out, but again, she's done a book tour, so she's put all this in a book. So I guess it's like her memoir. Sagittarius goddess, how are you doing? Facts Not Feelings. You say whoever says what's going on in Palestine has nothing to do with blacks are fools. And when a dual citizenship holding Israeli start taking our land in U.S. like they do over there, you will understand. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily don't have anything to do with us. I guess what I'm saying is we have our own issues right now, and if you're really following what's going on, I mean, it's not surprising as to how they are doing other people, because it's been done to us by them as well, if that, what I'm saying. So I'm not saying it doesn't affect us, but we have our own asks, if you will, and things that we need to be focused on. Robin, you say Jada must really hate Will. It's the only thing that makes sense to me, the way she tears him down every chance she gets. So like I said, maybe I didn't see everything admittedly, but all of the things that I saw, and I watched quite a few things because she's kind of making a circuit. I didn't hear her tear Will down. And that's just my honest perception of it. I didn't hear a full on, Will is a horrible person. He's this, he's that. I didn't hear that. I really more so heard her talking about herself. And she might have mentioned Will here and there, but I personally, I'm just saying, I'm not saying she did it. But I personally didn't hear her tear Will down. So that's what I'm saying. Angela Reddick, how you doing? And Eunice says, when you put your business in the streets, it becomes everybody's business. Your fair game. I totally agree. So that's why you should be very careful as to what you put out there, because people are going to have think tanks, conversations, and all that kind of stuff about your life. So especially with the inception of social media, that we know how it goes. But y'all also know that I'm a big proponent of kind of digging a little bit deeper, and that's kind of why I researched a little bit more about Jada and her book. Because I didn't want to just go off of the opinions of everybody else. I kind of want the opinion for myself, because unfortunately, in the day and age of social media, people just kind of form a half-baked opinion without really saying, okay, let me take a moment to go see for myself and see if I have a different viewpoint, instead of jumping on the bandwagon. So that's, I'm really, really trying my best to do that, so I can be more logical in my approach of whatever topic it may be. And Sagittarius Goddess, she says, I never thought they were swingers. I just thought they had an open relationship. So yeah, wasn't an open relationship from what she is saying, or nor were they swingers. She says at those particular times, and they were separated quite a bit. It sounds like throughout their relationship, they were separated. So it wasn't open, like, hey, we're together, you're going out tonight with Susie and I'm going out with Bob. She says they were just separated. So I guess people around them. Oh, she also said, and I forgot to mention that Chris Rock did call her and ask her out on a date, because he says, I heard that you guys were separated, getting a divorce. And she says, oh no, we're not divorced. And so she said he apologized profusely, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought that you guys were divorcing or separated. And she says, no. But she says, even after he hosted the Oscars, I think it was 2016 or whatever he did, she says that they called each other and they talked and they apologized to one another, because, remember, it was the whole Oscar so white type of thing. So she said they were good. And so she said it kind of caught her off guard that he, kind of went after her at the Oscars, that Will slapped him. All right. So Thunder says, what made it hard for her? The only person that seems to be constantly causing turmoil is her. I don't hear or see Will doing any of this. Looks like it's her. No, she said it's her. She did say that it is her. She says, that she suffers from depression. So that's a big part of it. But she says that she doesn't blame anybody else but her. And she said that in pretty much most of the interviews that I saw. She never said it's Will. Will is doing this to me. She said that it's her and that she's responsible for her own well-being. And so the book is about her now being on a journey of self, trying to really, fix her, if that's even possible, right? She says she knows she'll never be perfect, but she says, her and Will are still figuring things out. But she says that they'll never divorce. They made a vow to be with each other for the rest of their life. But Will did, I guess, reach out, or the New York Post reached out to him, and he made a statement on it, basically said that he had emotional blindness and that he was not paying attention to her nuances and her needs and things like that. So it doesn't sound like he was saying it was his fault, but he says that when he, read the book and all of that, then he fully understood her. But I never heard her blame him. So I'm just telling you from what I saw. If that's helpful. Janelle, how you doing? She said Tupac is her soulmate, but he's dead. She has a very unhealthy obsession with a dead rapper. Yeah, she did say that he was her soulmate. She says, but she never saw him sexually, that she never was attracted to him in that way. But she says that they were, very, very close, and that's how she saw him. So I don't know how unhealthy it is, but, she talks about him quite a bit. So I don't know, maybe it is unhealthy. Of course, they grew up as children. They went to the same school in Baltimore. So they known each other for a very long time, even before either one of them, got famous, if that makes any sense. Monet, how are you doing this fine evening? In fact, Not Feeling says, men, when a woman cheat on you, it's her way of saying, I no longer love you. Just cut off communication with her and leave. She will realize in time she was wrong, and it will lower her self-esteem. Oh boy. I mean, yeah. He says, when a woman cheat on you, is her way of saying, I no longer love you. Well, let me ask you this. What about when men cheat on women? Because we hear it a lot. Oh, no, I don't love her, but I love you. I was just hopping up and down on her, but I love you. I made a mistake. So does it count for men as well? When men cheat on women, is it that they don't love their wife or their girlfriend as well? And cutting somebody off for cheating on you. I mean, I think that's a personal decision. And that's your right to do so. So I'm just asking. And Amira, how you doing? You say she is demonizing herself by coming to the public and talking about it, shaking my head. Yeah, some people feel that way as well. But again, she wrote a book, as a lot of people do, wrote a book, and she was just kind of talking about her life. So I guess it's a memoir or whatever it is, autobiography. The Renegade, how you doing? Says Jada's full of it. Okay. And Simone says Will was taking vacations with his ex-wife. Yes. And I guess that's kind of how people got the whole open relationship narrative. But she says that it sounds like they are all cool because, of course, she has a stepson, Jada, that Will and his ex-wife have together. So yeah, they were spending vacations together by themselves. It doesn't sound like Jada was bothered by that. So that's kind of weird, but I don't know. But you're right. And Lord Bisson, how you doing? It says Jada is trying to woo. I like that. People by setting it. Look at you by setting it off. Okay, let me ask y'all this: Do y'all think? Do y'all think she has a right to write a book about her life? Do y'all think that? And Quick says, yeah, I'm gonna put it up here because I don't know how to say it. Ayagasaka, plant drug. Yeah, so that's the plant she was talking about that she took, and it kind of changed her life. She said it got her to open up and see things a lot differently. Nancy, how are you doing? Says, who cares? Her kids are screwed up, and her husband, he's stupid for putting up with her. Well, I mean, some people say that her children are screwed up, but her children I guess we can maybe understand that they have a different upbringing. They come from a different set financial background, I guess. I don't know. But her son Jaden owns Just Water, which is a very lucrative company. And he does do a lot of philanthropy, helping the homeless. He has a vegan food truck in Los Angeles that is for the unhoused, and it's totally free. So he's doing a lot. I think he's 27 or so, give or take. And their daughter, Willow, she is a musician and does her thing as well. So I don't know how screwed up they are. You say he's stupid for putting up with her. That is the popular opinion. Star Child, it says Jada sat there and said she made a promise to Will to keep their divorce between them and wrote a book and expressed him to the world. Exposed him to the world. She is a demon. So yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah. And Eunice, she says, depression is serious. You have to get help, and you have to stay in therapy and take medication or herbs, whatever needs to be done. You can't hurt people in the process, but why keep doing it? Depression is it's very serious. I've had depression a little bit, nothing major. I think most people probably had a little bit of depression, but never to the point of wanting to take my own life. So I probably really can't speak to it in that regards. But yeah, depression, if you ever know somebody who is really, really depressed, you're kind of like walking on eggshells, hoping one day that you don't get the call that they, did something to themselves. So yeah, depression is something that's a work in progress. And Renegade, you say deflection. Okay. And she said, I heard on an interview that she didn't like him at first. She thought he was silly or something. So yeah, she did talk about that as well. She says that once she went to Hollywood, make some money or whatever, she moved back to Baltimore because that's where she's from. Says she bought like a farmhouse or whatever, and then she was renovating it and this, that, and the other. And she said she got a call from Will after, I guess, him and his wife divorced. And he says, hey, are you seeing anybody? And she says, no. And he says, okay, well, great. Now you're seeing me. And she says, oh, okay. And so she says, from that point, she's made a joke and says, I couldn't get rid of him. But, it sounds like she was joking. Yeah, I mean, and I saw too where she said at their wedding that she cried. I don't know if she didn't want to get married or what that was about, but she cried before they got married. So I don't know. The Renegade says, if you will do all of this, nobody will feel sorry and make excuses for him. Well, yeah, of course we know that. I mean, he's a man, and unfortunately, people don't believe that men, not all people, but some people don't believe that men have feelings. So yeah, I think that definitely that Will would get treated differently, but it still doesn't seem like he really speaks out much about, her and what she is saying. He just kind of said that he had emotional blindness when it came to her. So that's kind of all that he said. Star Child says, we're getting slaughtered over here. No nations around the world say a word. Yeah. So, and I don't know if you were referring to Facts Not Feelings, but yeah, so that's kind of where I was going with that. Not to say that we should not look at and study what's going over there in the Middle East, but we definitely got our own things going on over here. And it's just kind of par for the course. When something happens, we, along with everybody else, but we are at the bottom here in America. We tend to kind of take our eye off of the ball in our own community. So Facts Not Feeling says, Demetra was not referring to you, love. I speak softly and warm to you. Oh, well, thank you so much. Easy, how are you doing? And our Star Child, you say, Jada is the Black Amber Heard. Ooh. Of course, you guys know that Amber Heard was the one that was accusing Johnny Depp of being emotionally and physically abusive to her. And did he take her to trial? I think he took her to trial. He sued and he won, or whatever the case was, for defamation. It cost him a whole lot of money, and she just did a whole lot of bad things to him. So I don't know if I quite agree with that correlation, because it doesn't sound like Jada is necessarily accusing Will of doing anything to her. I haven't heard that. So I haven't seen all the interviews out there, just the ones that I saw. I haven't heard that she's saying that Will did something to her. You guys got any different information, please let me know. The Renegade says, so embarrassing. Will, every chance she gets is not bringing him down. Wow. I'm saying as far as not bringing him down, I haven't heard her really just say, he did this to me. He did that to me. He's a horrible person. I haven't heard her say any of those things. In fact, from what I saw, now listen, y'all can, try to, I don't know. The stuff that y'all seen, I can't tell y'all the perception that y'all have. I'm telling y'all my perception. From what I saw and I heard her say, she blamed herself. I never heard her talk about Will doing anything specifically to her. Now, if y'all have any more information, some specifics, please throw it in the comments section. I would love to read them. Angela, you say Jada will do and say anything to get attention or stay relevant. I'm so exhausted by Jada and Will Smith's problem. So yeah, that's the other accusation, is that she is trying to stay relevant. But again, she is on a book tour. So all the stuff is things that she's talking about that's in her book. Facts Not Feeling says Jada is slick. What she is doing is unaliving Will by 1,000 cuts. She knows exactly what she is doing. She is a low life. Okay. Tito, how you doing? It says, leave them two alone, please. Yeah, okay. Looney says, I am FBA and I am a Jewish female. Says, I am learning so much about human behavior, evil, and human decency. Woo, child. Yes, that's amazing, the things that you can learn, especially about humans, right? One thing I always say that humans will be is human, right? No surprise there. Star Child says, I hope Will finally gets rid of her. The money is not worth it. Cut the check and run. Yeah, so it also sounds like they don't have a prenup. They don't sound like they're trying to get a divorce. But y'all got to remember, too, Jada got her own money. She probably don't have as much as what, they've been together 30 years. So Will's money is her money and her money is Will's money. So it's not like they got married and then Will says, okay, this is my money, and then you have your money. I think when we think about a marriage, that things are kind of joint, you know what I mean? So if we're looking at it in terms of, well, it's Will's money, it's kind of their money, but nevertheless, Jada has her own money too. She's an accomplished actress as well. Cosmo Energy, how you doing? He says, yes, she's being demonized unfairly. There's two sides to a story, and obviously Will did something to make her act like a scorned wife. So yeah, that's what some people are saying, that she seems like a scorned wife. But again, she didn't say something that he did something specifically to her. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear her just like name and claim, on this day, he pushed me down a flight of stairs. Like, I didn't hear her say anything like that. So Facts Not Feeling says, if Will is smart, he better divorce that woman. There are billions of women out there. One must be better for Will than this woman. Yeah, don't sound like that stopped him from being with other women. I don't know. But I would imagine Will is not enduring anything that he doesn't want to. Now, I will say this is my perception of it all. I think that definitely seems like Will loves her more than she loves him. Now, I'm going to put a heavy emphasis on seem because we don't know them, but it does seem like he loves her more than she loves him. He's like super enamored by her, and he wanted her and he got her, and it's been a lot going on, it sounds like, in their relationship. And Tammy Love, how you doing? And Dr. Bombay, what's going on with you? Says sounds like it's just Hollywood stories for the public. Yeah, it could be. Yes, Tito, they are two adults. And Simone says Tupac acknowledged the support from Jada in an interview in Vibe 1995. Yeah, so that wasn't a secret. And doesn't sound like Jada's saying a whole lot of things that people didn't already know, except for the whole, they have been separated and living separately since 2016. That sounds like that was kind of like the aha moment for people, like, oh, okay, that explains it. Dwight the mentor, how are you doing? In Mars, you say that's not true. Come completely. So I'm not sure what you're referencing, but maybe I'll get to the bottom and see what you're talking about. Dwight says Jada is saying what a lot of Hollywood couples have not said. I would agree with that. Sounds like she's very open and forthcoming about what is going on. I mean, she's writing a book about her life, and Will just happens to be a part of it. And I mean, they both said they've been together for more than half of their lives. So I would imagine that Will would probably make the cut, at least an honorable mention or two in her book. Thunder says, question, can a woman, we all, let me see. You said, so can a woman, and I think you may be missing a word, and I don't know what that is. Can a woman, we all, these problems, issues, still be a good wife, mother? If yes, can a man do the same and I think he may still be regarded as a good father? If you're asking me, I say yes. But if we're looking at societal norms, I would say no. We know that there are double standards when it comes to men, opposed to women. Well, we know that, right? So I think that if Will was in the shoes of Jada, doing some of the things that Jada is doing or saying, regardless if we agree with it or not, I think that he would be definitely demonized. So my answer personally is yes. Society wise, the answer is no. Monet says, I don't care about Will or Jada. I'm trying to find my own man and make some money. Give me some money, Jada. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. Looney says Jada has participated in destroying his career. Hey, if Will likes it, I love it. So again, this is what I heard her say. She says that caught her off guard as well. She says she thought too that it was a script or something like that. That when Will got up there and slapped Chris Rock, and she said that Chris Rock did walk to the end of the stage, and he says, "I didn't mean any harm" or something like that to her. So she says that she too was caught off guard, that she didn't know that Will was going to do that, and she does not condone violence, if you will. So I'm just putting that out there. Eunice says you can still heal and write a book, but some things still do not need to be disclosed. Just because she's talking about herself, certain things still can open up wounds for other people. Selfish, yeah. That is true. And I don't know if Will knew she was writing a book, or he knew what was in the book. Kind of sounds like, I don't know, maybe he didn't, because the statement that he made to the New York Post sounds like after learning about what was in the book, he says that he suffered from emotional blindness again, and that he was not acknowledging the things that she was going through as a person. So Suki B, he says Will has a whole lot to lose in a divorce. Yeah, they don't have a prenup. They just never had a prenup. Maybe they, as she said, we will never divorce. So it doesn't sound like they want a divorce or they'll ever divorce. So it doesn't really sound like money is an issue. But again, Jada does have her own money. Simone says he wrote a book first. Yes, he did write a book. And see, That's a very good point. And I don't know, but what's in his book? Because I remember now that you talk about it a couple years, like a year or two ago, he wrote the book and everybody was kind of talking about it. He was sending it to everybody. So what's in his book? I don't know. Good point though. And Star Child says Jada is the black. Okay, you said that. Black Amber Heard. Let's see. JJ Diesel Cowboy Traveler 79 Smith. How are you doing this evening? It says you cannot overlook the following scriptures: Proverbs 11:22, 14:1, and you list a whole bunch of other ones in Proverbs and Ecclesiastes 7:26 through 28. Okay. Um, Off the top of my head, I don't know what those Bible scriptures are referring to, but I take you had a good reason to mention them. Facts Not Feelings says men and women love differently, Demetra. Tis true. It says women love men who they respect. Men love women who other dudes don't have access to. You say she can't respect you if other dudes have intimate access to her. So women love men who they respect. Um, I would say that's true, but there's other things involved with disrespect. I mean, you got to be attracted to them, their mindset. So there's a lot of other things. It's not just about respect. I think that would be true for men too. And come on now, we know there's a lot of situations where men have ran. I was going to be vulgar, but I'm not going to. That have been with women they know other men have been with, especially like in the industry, right? Come on, y'all know y'all, but not you, but other men have been with other with women that they know are kind of like been ran through. So I don't know. Eunice, you say she's speaking about her own depression too. She too much. She's always talking about herself to me. She's a classic narcissist. What about Will's depression? She doesn't care about if he takes himself out. I don't know. Has Will talked about any of that at all? I didn't read his book, and I haven't read her book either. I just kind of saw her talking about some things. Is Will depressed? I don't know. Y'all, somebody help me out. Joanne, if I didn't already, how you doing? It says, why do anyone talk about Jada, period? Well, a lot of people are talking about Jada. They feel like she is giving Will Smith a raw deal, if you will, that she's throwing him under the bus. She's tearing him down and embarrassing him, things like that. So people have a lot of opinions about Jada and Will, if that makes any sense. Monet says, I came in late. Where's Donovan today? As I said, I do not know where Donovan is. I sent him a link and I called him. He did not answer. But, just to be transparent, and I don't know why Donovan is not here. So don't quote me. I'm just telling y'all, it was a Tuesday. We had a very heated exchange on the show. I have not talked to Donovan since. So I don't know if he's just, what he might be off doing something. I don't know. Sometimes Donovan takes off and he does his own thing. So I cannot speak for why Donovan is not here. But that's the last time that I spoke to Donovan was on the show on Tuesday when it got really, really, really heated. So y'all might know where he's at. I don't know. I hope that helps. Hey, JJ, how you doing? Cosmo Energy, you says she married someone she never really liked. That might have made her miserable. Marrying for money clearly won't bring happiness. Yeah, if she married for money, I totally agree with you. And that speaks volumes if what you're saying is true. And I see where you're going with that. And I can kind of concede some of that, which is why it's important that why you should try to marry somebody you love. Now, I know there's this old adage, especially has been told to women since the beginning of time. Don't marry for love, marry for money, and then you'll learn to love them. Well, that kind of sometimes works out, but sometimes it doesn't. And you just live in a life of misery, especially if you have so much money. I mean, I'm sure you've bought everything money could buy, and now you're just stuck with everything you want in the world, but you don't have true love. So if that's what happened, then yeah, it will leave you with a void. All right. And so JJ says, you mean Amber? Oh, Lord. Start. Yeah, you guys. Okay. Y'all talking about Amber Heard. Rafi, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. And Joanne says, not a Jada fan. Okay. And Jonathan, the one and only. How you doing? He says, no, she isn't being unfairly demonized. But Will Smith is also a lame for staying in this type of relationship. Okay. Ricky, how you doing? You say, I think what we're all forgetting is that what we're seeing in Jada and Will's marriage is nothing new. We've all seen this before with people we know know of for as long as they have been married. Yeah, bitter wife, questionable husband, weird kids, etc. The only difference is would be that there are stage fronts. There's our stage fronts rather. Jada has a right to write a book. She's just better not have added Diddy in it. And you know what, Ricky, have I told you how much I loved you lately? I love you because Ricky, you always see things outside of differing opinions, and you're right. Jada does have a right to write a book, and it's nothing new. So I love you for that, and welcome, by the way. And Rafi said Jada is a witch. For real, for real. Joanne says you agree with facts, not feelings 100%. All right. And Thunder says, question. So as long as she doesn't verbally assault him, but she can mentally, emotionally, financially, and possibly physically attack, she'll be still considered a good woman to you. Also, I don't know if I didn't know you were specifically. Are you okay? So in all fairness, because I want to go back, okay, because I want to make sure that I understood your question. Okay, there's your original question. Okay, can a woman okay, so what can a woman with all these problems issue still be a good mother wife? If yes, can a man do the same and still be regarded as a good father husband? All right, Thunder, you know I love you too. Love you, love you. But nowhere in this original question did you say, and I want to go back because I just want to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting or saying anything that's I shouldn't be saying. So in this original, so the next question you say, so as long as she doesn't verbally assault him, but she can mentally, emotionally, financially, and possibly physically attack him, she'll still be considered a good woman to you. So in all fairness, the original question did not have all of those things. So I thought it was just kind of a blanket question. But if you're adding all of that stuff in, I think it's kind of obvious that a person who is doing all of that is not considered a good woman. So I just want to be clear that I was not saying something that I should not have been saying. So with your second question, the answer is no. And I don't know if if you're talking about Jada, is she doing all those things to Will? I don't know. I don't know everything. So I'm just asking. All right. Facts Not Feelings says Will Smith needs to cut this woman out of his life completely. Yes, she might need to. I mean, he might need to do that. I don't know. And Joanne says Jada is a snake. And Cosmo, you say she's not exposing the real details. They probably have an agreement to keep the deep stuff quiet. Allegedly, Will was having an affair with a male for years. Eesh. Now, I heard that. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. Big C, how you doing? Says when a woman cheats, she is dominated by another man. A man can't be dominated by a woman. That's very new logic to me. I've never heard cheating explained that way. Big C, are you saying that it's then okay? I don't know. What are you saying with that? But I've never heard it that way. Star Child, he says, Will was out making movies. She wasn't getting any attention. That's why she acts like a fool. Well, if you followed, what is it? How do you call it? I know in music it's discography, but whatever it is in movies, Jada's worked, I would say, pretty much the whole time. I know she had babies and stuff, but Jada has never not acted. Or so I don't know. Maybe of course she's nobody in Hollywood is as big as Will Smith. Okay, I think we can concede that nobody is. But Jada wasn't just twiddling her thumbs; she worked as well. JJ Diesel, he says Will would have been better off with Nia Long. I knew something was wrong with Jada from the start. It showed in her eyes years ago. Okay. Wind Chime, how you doing? He says they are being unfair. All right. And Joanne says, be careful for what you wish for and pray for. You better say that again. Wind Chime says, what other woman or person for that matter is getting trashed for telling her own story? I think a lot of it has to do with Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, and it's just a lot of fallout from that, I think, in regards to Jada. And, maybe some comments that she made about it here and there. But yeah, I think anybody should be allowed to tell their own story. Mars, you say the person was saying women cheat and the person does it because the person don't really like the man. Okay, so is that in regards to the comment about why women cheat and why men cheat? If you don't mind me asking, let me try to catch up here to the comments. Thunder says a woman breaks up her family. Yes. Do you find your happiness and she's praised for it? But a man does it, and he's demonized for that. I think anybody who breaks up their home, and this is just me personally, because Thunder, I think you know by now, I don't share the mind of the internet or the mind of everybody else. I find myself to be a true free thinker. Me personally, I think anybody who breaks up their home for some, roll in the hay, I think they both should be demonized, because doing that, especially if you're married with children, it not only destroys the person you cheated on, but it destroys the children. It disturbs the family unit. There's a lot involved with that. But as me personally, no, I don't give a pass for a man or a woman doing it. But yes, society does. Society does kind of try to make the difference between a woman cheating and a man cheating. But I do not do that. All right. And so JJ says there's nothing in the Bible that states it's okay to clown like that. Star Child says Will didn't do her dirty in his book. Okay. And I didn't read it, either one of them. So I don't know. But I take your word for it. Facts Not Feeling says after Will risked his life and slapped a man to protect his wife's honor, quote unquote, she threw him under a bus and did not even defend him. This woman is a cancer to Will. Cut her out of your life, Will. Yeah. So that's the other thing. A lot of people said that she did not defend him. But in this interview, couple interviews that I saw in her book, she said she didn't even know Will was doing it. She said she still, even after he did it, thought it was part of the skit. She said she didn't realize that it was real, I guess, till it was real, if that makes any sense. Joanne says Jada is a female narcissist. Okay. And a wind chime says blame for somebody being slapped when she didn't slap them. And people are dishonestly saying she told him to slap him. Yeah. I didn't watch the Oscars, but I saw that moment and I didn't see her say, hey, I didn't see her do it. So yeah, I think she's being unfairly demonized for that. Will is a grown man and he made the decision to slap Chris, as Facts Not Feeling said, to defend his wife's honor, even though Jada said they weren't even going by husband and wife at that time because they had been separated since 2016. So she said that kind of caught her off guard, that he even, said, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Star Child, you say Jada's lying about that slap. She heard others saying it was scripted. Okay. Wind Chime says he didn't joke about anybody else's +1. Yeah, that's the other thing. Chris Rock, when he scanned the audience, he said other things about white women, but he didn't attack them in the way they look. But when it came to Jada, it was just a lot, so I can understand Will being mad. I personally didn't like it either. It's like, you're going to go after the sister after you didn't go after the white women, but you go after the sister that way? Nah. So, I mean, I understand why Will did it. Should he have chosen a different way? Yeah, I guess in retrospect, but he didn't. And Joanne says, yet she speaks violence and arrogance. Yeah, Jada was next. So when did she speak violence? If you guys don't mind me asking. Windchime says talking a lot is one thing, but would people be so mad if another source had leaked their business? They didn't even seem as mad at Aslina. Yeah, August Aslina, which, let's keep it a buck, was Jaden's friend. And, he's pretty young. He's the one that told that him and Jada had an affair. She did say that it was an affair. So at that time, her and I guess Will were together. So she did say it was an affair. So yeah, he was the one that leaked it. But, at the end of the day, yeah, especially in regards to me, he's a kid, so the onus really was on Jada to not engage in that type of activity with her son's, friend who's kind of kids at the time, what was it, like 19 or give or take, something like that. So that's a kid. Um, as Suki says, they will eventually turn into the movie The War of the Roses. Ooh, I hope not, but that's one of my favorite movies. Uh, and Michael, how you doing? He says, Demetri, do you think that Will should marry a woman from South Africa to avoid marital issues in the United States? Um, I think at the end of the day, Will should do exactly what he's doing, and that's what he wants to do. But as far as him marrying a woman here, there, everywhere, women are the same all over the planet. I know the internet has taught people that women are different in different climates or not climates, but parts of the world. But women are all the same. So I think whatever Will chooses to do, he gonna do. Thunder says, gentlemen, there's only one answer. This avoid this madness. Also, you got a whole bunch of different countries and airplanes, and I'm gonna put it up so y'all can see the comment. Yeah. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it is your right. You can go and to whatever country. Nobody's gonna make you be with an American woman. It is your prerogative to go be with whatever woman you want. And that's all I have to say about that. Full stop. I think people should go where they find happiness with whoever they find happiness with. So, yeah. And Simone, you say, I'm not sure why men hold so much emotion for Will against Jada, but had empathy for Chris Rock. He tried to take her out off of a rumor. Yeah, she did say that. She said he called because he heard that they divorced. And she was like, no, we're not divorced. And again, he felt embarrassed. He's like, oh my God, I heard you guys were divorced. But yeah, he did try to ask her out. Lord Bisson, you say, anybody here looking forward to Bad Boys 4 with that buffoon Martin Lawrence? Buffoon Martin Lawrence. I like Martin Lawrence. What did Martin do now? Do we not like Martin? I think I've only really seen Bad Boy 1, maybe 2. I didn't even know they had a 3. Wind Chime says people people really want to say is that they don't want black couples to sort things out between each other. I don't know. Yeah, but I think people are entitled to that. They have been married a long time, and if they haven't bumps in the road, I think they're entitled to try to figure that out. As a lot of people have who've been together for years, they got stories like, wow, it's amazing that we're still together, but we too figured it out. Soda, how you doing? Hope all is well. Joanne says, Jada is not even ashamed before her children. As long as everyone is focused on her, she could care less and will continue to make him look less than when she definitely is. So, okay, yeah, I guess that's a good point. But I'm just telling you, for what I saw, I didn't see her specifically target Will. Now, maybe that's the perception, which I think is fair, but I did not see her do that. So that I just did not see her do that. Black America, how are you doing? You said you missed that exchange, and I'm sorry. Let me catch up with the comments because I don't know what exchange you're talking about. Maybe talk to somebody else. Virgo Flower, how you doing? Says, I don't think she married for money. I do think she loved Will. You can't be with someone that many years and not love them. Yeah, you can definitely learn to love somebody. But if you marry for money before love, yeah, it may not work out. Third Coast McQueen says she called him goofy. Okay, so she called Will goofy. Um, that could be a problem. She thought he was goofy, and she married him anyway. So yeah. And Soto, you say even rich people seek love. Yeah, at the end of the day, we need love. And sometimes we just don't sit back long enough to make sure we get good love, right? The right love, the one that loves us. Sometimes we mistake feelings for love. And it's not really that. It's a lot of times it's just lust, right? Especially if you've been alone for a long time and then you kind of get with somebody and they're giving you the warm and the fuzzy and you just make me feel good. You're saying all the right things and we think it's love. And then once we really think about it, all the newness wears off. It's like, I don't even really like him like that or her, so we definitely should be making sure that it's truly love as best we can. Facts Not Feeling says truth is most Western women are not marriage material. Again, that's the mind of the internet. Virgo, you say, I support her. Nobody knows what's going on in the home. Women cover a lot of stuff that men do. So you're saying that she's kind of hid some of the things that might have been going on, but you're right. There's a lot that goes on in the home. And there's a lot of things that go on in our homes or has gone on in our homes that we will never tell anybody, right? Joanne says, no one forced her to marry for money, only her greed, and Tupac didn't want you, girl. Okay. Ja, how are you doing? I hope all is well. Enraged Pinky Toe, I have a story for you. The other day, I was walking in my living room and my pinky toe kind of hit the edge of the couch, and I thought of you. I laughed and I was wincing in pain at the same time. But anyway, how you doing? He says she's doing her job as Holly Weird industry plant. She's dogging her husband in every way possible for the world to see. We have a rise of black men hate black women. Black women hate black men. So we hear, right? But again, as I say, a lot of times, yeah, we see that on the internet, and I think that's purposely done to drive division between black men and women. Now, do black men and women have issues amongst ourselves? Yeah, sure we do. But is it as aspirated? I think that's what I'm trying to say. As it is on the internet, because y'all got to remember too. A lot of times people get on the internet and they do a lot for clicks, likes, and views because it brings money. You know what I'm saying? So I think we have to be careful in what we believe from the internet, right? Sometimes we got to be like, okay, it sounds plausible, but is it really? When Chime says how people more mad at what couple says about each other than they are at a man saying things about another man's woman. Yeah, but people are entitled to their opinions. And Virgo says couple lives in the same house, married 59 years, and sleeping in two different rooms because they don't want a divorce. Yeah, that's actually common, especially for a lot of older people. They have those stories. I haven't slept in a room with them since 1983. Damon, how are you doing today? And Enraged Pinky Toe, he says these people on social media and these token celebrities are paid to act this way. I totally agree with you. Especially in regards to black people. Keep us fighting. Keep us talking about how each other are no good. And, y'all need to go outside of your race in the country and all that other stuff. But nobody else is doing that. I promise you. Also, you're saying those are two different questions. Oh, well, I never said any. I never said a woman that's physically, financially, and emotionally abusive is a good woman. So, no. I never said that. I never have, and I never will. Love JJ. How you doing? Long time no see. Happy Sunday to you as well. Eunice says Jada has a right to write a book about, but does she have the right to talk about his darkest secrets? When you are married to someone, you should keep that between you, them, and God, even when it's over. So again, if y'all can, now I'm gonna ask y'all to be specific because I don't know what. So was there something specifically she said about him in regards to dark secrets and all of that? If y'all can help me out, because I don't know, and I'm being honest about that. Miss Kiki, how are you doing this fine evening? He says, where's Donovan to keep it simple? I won't be reading the book. Y'all probably won't be reading Jada's book either. I'm not that interested. I tend to read things a little bit more on the serious side. Although my daughter tells me, you need to read, some fiction every once in a while. Every once in a while I do. It's rare. But I like to read stuff that's going to actually, put more. And you can gain knowledge from fictional books as well. So in regards to Donovan, I don't know where Donovan is. I sent him a link. I called him. He did not answer. Admittedly, if you guys watched the show on Tuesday, y'all know that it got very heated. I have not spoken to him since. So I don't know. Maybe Donovan's out at the beach. He's doing whatever Donovan is doing. I don't know where he is, but I don't know. So he is not here. Let's see here. Virgo Flower says, my father looks innocent as hell to public, but I remember the days he beat the hell out of my stepmother. No one knows why. They are still married 46 years. Wow. Yeah, and that's her decision. If she, decided to stay with him for whatever reason, that's her decision. Thunder says the second question was about Jada and her treatment of Will. You're conflating the two. No, I wasn't conflating the two. I didn't know because the two questions were, as you said, they were different. So I didn't know that Jada was physically, financially, emotionally, and whatever else you said, abusing him. So, and in fact, you didn't even mention Jada in those questions. So I didn't know who you were talking about. I thought it was just a vague question. So Again, it was no conflation going on with me. I just read your question as it was. So you didn't even mention Jada in any one of those. So forgive me if I misunderstood you. Let's see here. So when Chime is saying she didn't cheat, I don't know. Love JJ says, I don't personally care for Will and Jada, but what I can appreciate is that they are authentic even in the midst of their unconventional and chaotic marriage. I can see where you're going with that. Let me catch up because I can see y'all behind. Eunice says Jada talks too much. Even eventually she's gonna tell if he was doing that, messing with a man. She talks too much. I don't know. I mean, if Will was, I hope she would not do that. If Will was messing with a man, I mean, his prerogative, he was messing with a man, but I hope that she would not out Will. As I said, the interviews I saw didn't seem like that was her goal, is to stick it to Will. Then again, I didn't see everything. So, all right, so let me skip down here. And Patty says, I am happy to see you today, Mr. Mitra. I don't mind just you. Well, I'm happy to see you as well. And thank you for being here. Filmography, is that what it is? Quick, I was trying to think of the opposite of discography. So thank you for that. Cosmo says, people forget that they are public figures. Therefore, their life is public and their private business makes money. That is true. Keep people talking about it and go buy the book. By the way, right? I'm not telling you to do that, but that's, I think, would be the purpose of her doing that, is because she wants people to buy the book so she can get on the bestsellers list. And I'm sure she probably will, because people want to know, well, what didn't you tell Jada? You know, Lord Bisson, you say Will has been simping since been simping. All right. All right, let me skip down. JJ says Jada did a recent movie, Girls Trip. Yeah, and she also played in Gotham, the series. I forget what channel was on, but I love that series. That was really good about Batman and all of them. I forget the character she played. It escapes my mind, but I loved her in that show, Gotham. Really good. And let's see here. Love JJ says, I disagree. Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Denzel are bigger than Will, but that's another topic. Laugh out loud. Well, I guess, you could put Will amongst that. But Will, especially at one point in time, was a box office gold, as they would say in Hollywood. So Will he's amongst that class for sure. As far as I know, Leonardo DiCaprio has not won an Oscar, but Will has. Soto says maybe she married Will because he was a popular bad boy back then, not thug life like Tupac, but maybe Jada had a thing for drama in her life like those housewives. And Will Smith even said that Jada would tell him that him and Tupac were actually a lot alike. He said he didn't see it, but she would often tell him that. So maybe you're on to something. Joanne says, yeah, Demetra, she was twirling her son's best friend. Yeah, she said that they had an entanglement, which in turn was an affair. I would say inappropriate relationship with her son's friend, because her son's friend was extremely young. And I never understand why a woman would want to have a relationship to any degree with someone significantly younger than her, especially that young. It's like, little boy, if you don't go and sit down somewhere. One who cares. How are you doing this fine evening? And when Chime says she had her own show, I don't remember that, but if you can jog my memory. Let's see here. And Tigra, how you doing? Says she gave Will a look like, get him, Will. I didn't see that. When I looked at the Oscar, I didn't see that. And I guess I'm kind of confused how anybody drew that from that. I didn't see her give that look at all. And listen, I'm not a Jada fanatic. I like some of the things that she does. Do I think Jada is problematic? Yeah, I think so. But I'm one of those people. I like to, in my opinion, maybe I saw something different. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. We might see something differently, but I'm not going to misrepresent Jada. I won't or will, but I didn't see her give him the look like, get him. I didn't see that. Ricky, you saying, you know what? They might as well stay together. What man in his right mind is going to want Jada after seeing the lengths she would go in a marriage to hurt MF? And what woman in her right mind is going to take a man like Will, with a spine no stronger than a Twizzler. You wild, and they'll both just end up being nothing but retirement plans for somebody else. Yeah, some people are made for each other, and you might be onto something. They might be perfect for one another. Uh, but I would imagine there's somebody somewhere that wants to be with Will and Jada. I would only imagine. Love JJ says, all jokes aside, Jada does have a spiritual side and energy to her, and there is a possibility that she is assessing the spiritual world to oppress Will. You never know. It's funny. I was having a conversation with my daughter along the lines of something like that. I don't know if she's trying to oppress Will, but I definitely think she's got, some sort of a spiritual or something hold on him. Y'all know how they say like Erica Badu, whatever she's got over these men that they're mesmerized. I kind of think that's what Jada, the effect that she has on Will. So I get where you're going with that. Margie says, yes, it was in response to why men and women cheat. Just because women cheat, it does not mean she don't like the man cheating is wrong. Okay, got you. Enraged Pinky Toe said Jada got away with being a pedophile. She wasn't a pedophile because he wasn't a minor. He was a young man, but he was not a minor. So we don't want to mislabel Jada and being a pedophile. I get where you're going with that. Very inappropriate, yes. And I think she probably needs to have her thought process examined for sleeping with her son's friend, who they were both very young. They're still young now, but extremely young back then. So, but I don't want to call her that because we know what the definition of a pedophile is. So Win Chime said, you thought he was 20 something? I don't know. Maybe he was. I heard it was 19, maybe give or take. So I don't know. Don't quote me, but he might have been 20 something. Shaniqua, how are you doing? It says, hello, Demetra. It's a lot I see wrong with the whole Jada Will story. She has a lot of nerve to try and continue to humiliate, degrade Will. But when her entanglement with August happened, Will didn't do what she was doing as far as we know, publicly disrespecting her. She, to me, has a lot of nerve and out of line for that. And that entanglement was very disrespectful and humiliating. I totally agree with you on that. She did talk about that in her interview. She says that she now takes full responsibility for what she did. She said that I am an adulteress. Those are the words that she used. And she said that it's her fault that it got away or went the way that it did by her just not owning that what she did was inappropriate, and that it was an affair because they being her and Will at the Red Table Talk, which is her show or whatever it was, it's not anymore. They kind of were alluding that, that Will knew about it and they weren't together, but it sounds like she is taking full responsibility and basically saying that Will was blindsided by that. And come on, most people who saw the interview could see the look on Will's face that he didn't have any knowledge of that. And like what made me feel bad for Will in that moment with the whole entanglement thing is that you could tell he did not want to be there. And I wonder, why would he show up to that? I would have said, girl, is you crazy? I'm not going on the Red Table Talk and talk about, and sitting up, you listen, talk about you, sleeping with our son's young friend. No, I ain't finna do that, right? So I wondered what would make him do that. And I guess maybe because he does love Jada, he was like, okay, let me go up here and see what I can do to help cushion the blow of the revelations that came out about her in August. But I really felt bad for him. Like, wow, did you really have to do that? I wouldn't have. I would say, no, you on your own. Because I think what Jada did to Will in that moment is the equivalent of when we have seen like Bill Clinton, Tiger Woods, and whoever else stand at a podium and they've got caught cheating, right? And their wife is standing next to them and they're like, and they have to listen to all the details. To me, that was the equivalent of what she did to Will, make him endure the horrid details of what she did. All right. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna just skip down because I know I'm behind. Michael said, Demetria Phillips Scott said that women from African nations are feminine, soft, and nice. They are feminine, soft, and nice as well. But there are women from America that are feminine, soft, and nice as well. Just want to put that out there. Star Child says she took advantage of August and got that boy sprung. Jada says she was advising August and ended up betting him. Yeah, She was totally wrong for what she did to him emotionally. Sounds like he was not in a good place after that. I think if you ask me, she used him. That's just what I think. I think she used August, and did not have any regards for him being a young man, smitten by being with this older woman who was, taking advantage of him. And so, yeah, that to me makes her a horrible person. All right, let's skip down the facts. Not feeling. I mean, not Damon, you say, bottom line, does anyone really give a ish about this nonsense? Stay on point. Black first family. Some people do, some people don't. Facts Not Feeling says this is the person to never allow, this is the reason rather, to never allow a woman to trap you in a situationship like Jada did. Will thinks he is still married to Jada, but Jada is stringing him along. Well, from what she's saying, they both have not been in a relationship. They have been separated and living separately. So she says they know that they are separated, and they're still kind of figuring things out. She says that they will never divorce. Those are her words. Star Child says they can sort things out, but in private, please. Yeah, I think that's the consensus. Hello, Anita. How are you doing? Shanico says some things should be kept private, especially the things she's done. Yeah, I agree with you. And Tigra, you say her son Jaden admitted that Jada gave them PCP, so they all get along. He admitted that. That's not good. So she's not. I don't know if the flower she said it was plant medication, so I don't know if that was PCP, if that's a derivative of it. But she called it something else. But she did say she said that her son told her about it because he had friends whose parents were doing whatever the plant is. So I didn't hear that, but if she did that, then that's horrible. All right. Okay. So let me skip down to Facts Not Feelings. Says Demetra, I know women won't target a man directly. She will do it indirectly like Jada is doing to Will. Okay. A lady, how you doing? Says we can only imagine the requirements of a Hollywood marriage. Will has a long-term girlfriend anyway. Leave them be. Yeah, that's the word on the street. They say he was messing with Margot Robbie for a long time, a white woman who was a very popular actress. How true that is, I don't know, but that's what the word for a while has been. Love JJ says they have a business partnership. All right, so let me catch up. I'm trying to catch up. My bad. And then if you guys want to talk about something else, you can throw it in the chat and I'll be more than happy to address it. Enraged Pinky Toe says Will is a public emasculation of black male by design. Yeah, that's been the consensus too, is that she is emasculating him. But if that is the case, and she is emasculating him, he will continue to be that as long as he stays in whatever relationship that they have. Joanne says right is right is right, wrong is wrong, and she is wrong. Divorces are nasty and she is nastier. Okay. Jeb, how you doing? Says, hey, Auntie Demetra. Long time, Mama. How you doing? Where's Donovan? How is your daughter? And Walter doing well, I hope. Sending you hugs from Buenos Aires. And thank you so much. It has been a long time. Donovan, I don't know where he's at again. I don't know. I sent him a link, called him, and did not answer. Once again, we had a pretty heated argument, I guess you could call it, or exchange. We had a heated entanglement on Tuesday. I haven't heard from him since. So I don't know. Donovan could be out doing what Donovan does, or I don't know. So I can't really say what's going on with Donovan. I just know that he is not here. But Walter and my daughter, they're doing fabulous. So thank you for asking. And I hope you're doing the same. Okay. Third Coast McQueen says Jada Pinkett-Smith, Aslina Shakur. So is that her new name? That's Not Feelings. You say, let me tell you a secret. Never get involved with a woman who willingly stayed in an abusive relationship with a man. When the man calls her, she will go back to him. That is probably true. She stayed in an abusive relationship. But if she's healed, then maybe she's not there anymore. But yeah, that's probably true. She might go back for whatever reason. So yeah, that's possible. Cosmo Energy, you said the internet has been infiltrated with many division tactics. They use plans to get the ball rolling. It's not a difficult task because many of our skin folks are followers, unfortunately. Yeah, you're right. And JJ, you say She was recording Will in their home even after Will told her to stop. Oh, I didn't know anything about that. I don't even know what that means. Is that for the red table talk, or what is that about? Thunder, you say law number 10, emotional states can be as infectious as diseases. Occasional, some unfortunate individuals bring their own misfortune upon themselves and can bring you down it too if you get too close. So yeah, that's another thing she talked about. She says all the things that have happened with her, she says, are my fault, which is true for all of us to some degree. She said exactly that. The misfortunes and things that she's experienced, she said that she's brought them on herself. Said that she doesn't blame anybody else for that. And I, for one, think that is a very enlightened mind state, because the things that we go through, a lot of them times it does have something to do with us, whether we realize it or not. I was told a long time ago, we are where we are is because we want to be, whether we realize it or not. Some of the things, not all, things that we're going through is because of the way we see things, the way we feel, is like the law of attraction type of stuff. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Now, Thandi says, avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Yeah, I definitely try to avoid unhappy people, because I'm a happy person, and unhappy people is just a lot to deal with, right? It's like they don't want to be happy, and it's like, nah, you ain't gonna ruin my high, the happiness high. That is. And JJ says it's GOAT writers in Hollywood. All right. Tigre says, of course, she's trying to sell her books since the Red Table been canceled. Yeah, and that show was on Facebook and it was canceled. A lot of shows seem like it was canceled on Facebook as well. And her show being one of them. Simone says, people forget Will was a rapper first. Yeah, that is true. And he parlayed that into something very lucrative and is known as one of Hollywood's greatest actors. And I know somebody will say that it's not true, but I believe that Will is amongst Hollywood's greatest actors. Michael says, should Will Smith leave Hollywood and start his own entertainment business to avoid celebrity gossip? They own their own company. I forget the name of it, but they own their own production company. I don't think Will should leave anything. I think Will should do exactly what he's doing. I know one thing I know for sure: when people have enough, they know how to tap out. Sometimes it takes people longer, and sometimes they tap out immediately, but everybody knows their limit. So when Will gets to that point, if he ever, then he'll do that. But I don't think he should leave Hollywood. Dietrich, how you doing? He says, where was Will the night of Tupac? You wildin'. Tupac's murder. What you trying to say? You trying to say Will has something to do with it? Facts Not Feeling says Jada is disgusting. She messed up the relationship with her son and his best friend when she decided to sleep with his friend. I totally agree. Very inappropriate. So I hope you guys aren't mistaking me, and that I'm not condoning or excusing that at all. I think it's horrible. I love JJ says Leonardo has won an Oscar, by the way, for the Revenant. Oh, so that was a couple years. So he finally did win. Okay, well, good for him. I like Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he's a great actor. He played in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood not too long ago. That was a great movie. The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? I think that was one of his first movies. That was one of my mom's favorite movie. So yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio is a really great actor. Dep knows how you doing. Says she's a freak in the bed, but still crazy, I guess. Miss Sweet Talks, how are you doing this evening? I hope you are well. Joanne says she's a witch. Witchcraft is real. Okay. Enraged Pinky Toe says this could be a script. Think about it. They're actors. It could be. And we're all just eating popcorn, right? JJ Diesel says, to say the least, they have a strong soul tie and she is using it against Will. But can I ask y'all a question? At what point does Will have any control over his life? Are y'all saying that Will is completely out of control, does not have any control over his life, like he's just yes, Jada, entanglement? I mean, does he not have any control? Because I follow Will Smith, and this is kind of my other theory too, maybe Will Smith, because Will is very, 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 very competitive. I did an interview, and I can't remember, he did it at the Actors Studio, that show. I don't know if it's still on, but he basically says that I'm very competitive. He said, if you put me on a treadmill next to somebody, he says one or two things are going to happen. I am going to outrun you, or I'm going to die trying. He says there is no other way out of it. You know, he just talks about how he just decided to be great and do good at everything he does. He also, his favorite book is The Alchemist, is one of my favorite books as well, which talks about the universe basically acquiescing what you want in life. You just got to know how to get after it and accept those things. It's an awesome book. It's like the laws of the universe type of thing. So Will Smith is a very, very, he's a very interesting person. So when I hear you guys talk about she's got him tied up, soul ties, and he's this, that, and the other, I hear y'all describing him as like he has no control over his life. And the Will that I've seen and read about and things, I don't see that for Will. So maybe I'm seeing something different. Patricia Smith, how you doing? Says they working roots. So you're saying like she's putting roots on them, like a spell. And I love JJ says Leonardo has one Oscar for The Revenant. Okay, so you said that. Now African Violet Black First, how you doing? Says haven't seen the video. Based on the headlines I've seen, is just making her look bad and me feeling sorry for Will. It's bringing Samson and Delilah vibes. Yeah. So as always on this show, I impress upon you all to, you know, if you're interested, and you may not be. I wasn't terribly interested, but I knew I was going to talk about it today, so I went and did my research. I impress upon you, if you want to see something outside of the narratives that have been drawn, go and look at those interviews for yourself, so that way you can draw your own decision. But I'm telling y'all know by now, I'm never, ever, ever gonna allow somebody else's opinion that is unresearched and that's based off of emotion to shape how I think and feel about anything. I want to go get the information for myself, regardless of what it is. So I impress upon you all to do the same. Okay, so Tigre says she was in control. That's why she wanted her son's boyfriend. It's about control. Yeah. I think it is about control, especially when you are being inappropriate with your son's friend. I definitely think it's about control, because she clearly had the upper hand. And instead of saying, well, I better not do that, she went full speed ahead and did it anyway. So she's completely wrong for that. Wind Chime, it says, could believe that was his first award there. You say you couldn't believe. Yeah, for a long time, Leonardo DiCaprio seemed like he was being blackballed or something. Cosmo, you say Cherie caught Will in bed with Benny Medina. She exposed it, but was paid handsomely to retract her statement and say it was a lie. Okay, so yeah, I ain't heard that one. That's wild. Angela, you say Jada wanted to be like Mrs. Robinson in the movie The Graduate. A lot of older women have lived that scenario. Yeah. I completely see that, but it's like, wow. See, yeah, back then, and even made a movie about it, right? And there's another movie, I don't know if you guys remember, called Blame It on Rio with Gene Wilder, where he was having a relationship. I want to say the girl was 15. And it was his friend's daughter. They all went to Rio. So his friend, him, and their daughters, and they kind of were having inappropriate relationships with each other's daughters. And I think they were about 15 or 16. Now, it was slated as a comedy, but when you think about it, it's like, was that funny? But yeah, so I definitely get the Graduate scenario there. All right, so yes, African Violet says stop airing laundry in public. Yes, indeed. All right, let's see who else came on here. Ja, you say Pac was a nerd who never did a street crime till after fame. He told the truth about a thug life he never really lived. Philly Bull Will is more thug than Pac any day. You might be on to something. Of course, we know Tupac had Black Panther parents, so they were about something completely different, the liberation of Black people. Tupac is very smart, like smart beyond his years, especially when you see interviews of him back in the day. He didn't think like a 20-something-year-old kid. He had like ascended that. It's just bewildering to watch those interviews and how enlightened that he was. But it makes sense, being that who he was raised by and around, right? Um, Donna Black, how you doing? Says Will tried to get out of that marriage several times. When he filmed Hitch, had an affair with Eva Mendes. I did hear about that. Also, Margot Robbie, when filming Suicide Squad, they both have been stepping out on each other. So yeah, so I did hear about that. But Jada was saying, well, I guess I don't. So does sound like there was some affairs, but she said from 2016 on till today they had been separated. So she said in present day, I guess that's why a lot of people thought that they were cheating on each other, but they in turn were just separated. Buckhorse, how are you doing today? Jay the Informant, how are you? And Michael says it's better for Will Smith to separate from his wife and start traveling outside of America. He is a good person and he does not deserve to be treated with disrespect. Yeah, I agree with that. He does not deserve to be treated with disrespect, but it doesn't sound like he does not travel. Will actually travels a lot. I think was it for his 50th birthday that he did something crazy. Did he hop out of a hot air balloon or something crazy he did? I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was out of the country, but yeah, Will is very adventurous. I can't remember what it was, but it was wild. Jumped out of a plane. He did something crazy. I don't know, child. He did something crazy. Your average logical thinker, how you doing? And now August is laid up with another man. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Ooh, it's too much for me. Win Chime says Pac loved her. They were best friends. Yes, that's what she said. She said, but she wasn't sexually attracted to Tupac. She said they were soulmates. However, yes, Buckhorse, you are here. Big C. You say, I'm saying it's not the same. A man can't forgive his woman allowing herself to be dominated by another man. Okay, got it. So you said from a man's point of view, that's how a man sees it. Like, oh my God, she was getting thrashed all over the place and, some other things I ain't going to say by a man. But when a man cheats, he's actually applying the pressure. Can we say that? Is that what you're saying? All right, got you. Enraged Pinky Toe say he's the zestiest black version of Carrot Top. Who you talking about? Will Smith? All right. Roots Tracker, how are you doing this fine evening? I hope all is well. Okay. Let me skip down. You also say, I certainly hope her son hadn't been on those psychotropics. Is that what it is? I don't know. Yeah, I hope not either. Let's see here. Michael says, should celebrities marry non-celebrities to avoid stress, chaos, and gossip? No, I mean, we hear about celebrities that are with non-celebrities, if you will. And there's a whole lot of stuff coming out. My mic coming out of that as well. So I don't think it matters. I just think that we need to vet people. I don't know better. And sometimes people change. So I don't think it has a difference. It makes a difference as to who you're married and a non-celebrity. I just think, it depends on the person. Yeah, y'all talking about August and who he's sleeping with now. I don't know about all of that. Okay, so Tigri says, so yeah, it's shrooms and that's PCP. Got you. Enraged Pinky Toe says, who owns Hollywood? We're the same people that own the rap industry media and are invading Palestine. Let that marinate. Yep, you're right. Yes, Dietrich, I did hear about Suzanne Summers passing away. Three's Company. I love that show. And the Thigh Master. So yeah, RIP to Suzanne Summers. She was up there, right? She had to be close to 80. And what happened to her, if you don't mind me asking? Because I heard that right before I came on here. Love JJ. He says, I do think Jada once was in love with Will, but as time went on, I believe she became with notoriety, money, and all the Hollywood elite circles, and that's fake BS. It's possible. Your average logical thinker says, little bro, sister spat, y'all will be all right. Oh, you talking about me and Donovan? And I should say Donovan is much older than me, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. He's only a year older than me. People have their issues or whatever. Donovan, he's more than welcome to come back. I didn't put him off the show or anything like that. So I honestly don't know what's going on with Donovan. I have not spoken to him. As I did say, it did get kind of hot under the collar on Tuesday. So, we'll see. But if not, this is the Demetra K Show, and the show must and will always go on. I should also say that for a while I was doing the show by myself. So we'll see. At the end of the day, if Donovan decides not to come back, which I don't know if that's the case, so I might be speaking, prematurely, whatever. If he decides not to come back, I still love and appreciate him as a brother, and all the contributions that he has made to the Demetri K show. So that's really all I have to say about it. But as my mom used to always say, the show will go on. It needs to. So let's see here. Javi says here in Punta Cana, laying pipe. Ha ha. What you talking about, Willis? Okay. So let's see here. Wilbur, how are you doing? And Winshine says, but speaking of rumors about Margot and Eva, it's funny how people believe those without proof. That is true. And Michael says, Demetri, how are you doing today in terms of taking a break from the heated exchange? I had a heated exchange from a friend. How do I move forward? Thanks. I'm used to having heated exchanges, if you will. So I'm all right. I was not all right. Does that make any sense? Once I log off of here, I go and do the things that I do, right? I don't like take any of this to bed with me like, oh my God. I really don't, because I'm always doing so many other things. So I'm kind of used to heated exchanges. It's kind of nature of the beast. But as far as how do you move on with a heated exchange, it just depends on what the heated exchange is about. If it was something that wasn't a big deal, then I think you just need to say, you and whoever the heated exchange was with, you have to say it wasn't a big deal. What's next, right? Now, to you, if it was a big deal, you have to decide if that relationship is worth salvaging. If it's not worth salvaging, then you just move on. You just say, hey, you know what? It was what it was. We had a great run of it up until this moment here, and I'm going to live my life, right? My dad has always said, and I firmly believe this, you cannot undo yesterday, right? But I think we should also be mature enough. If you felt like you were wronged by somebody, then you should just say that, hey, do you mind if I have a conversation with you? Can I take a moment of your time? Yeah, sure. What's going on? Well, the other day when A, B, C, and D happened and you said that, it offended me and it hurt my feelings. But, if you don't make those things known, then people are just going to speculate. But you just have to decide if the relationship is worth salvaging. If it's not, go do you. If it is, do what you can to, make it right, and then move forward with that. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to skip down. And you guys are more than, you guys can change the subject if you want to talk about something else. I kind of addressed the whole Israel thing, not really wanting to address it just yet because I'm still kind of watching it and looking at all the stuff that's unfolding. So it's a lot going on. Winshine says he had a physical incident, but he wasn't the first to have a behavioral issue in the business. Are you talking about Will? But of course, you said simp. Okay. Enraged Pinky Toe says, look at his reputation as an actor, father, and rapper, all positive up until now. Food for thought. How many positive black male images do we have without scandal? They destroyed Bill Cosby for buying NBC. You're absolutely right. I think that Will, I guess for the most part, is seen as a positive guy. Now, there's been some stories come out about him. What's her name? Janet. Her name escapes me, but she was the dark skinned Aunt Viv, if you will. She said that Will was unkind to her, and they recently mended their relationship, but that had gone on for a long time. Where she said that some of the things that Will said, I guess, about her and her being fired from the show actually blackballed her from Hollywood for a long time, where she had a hard time feeding her family due to her being blackballed. So, I have heard those things about Will. Michael also say, Demetri, do you see the correlation between cash payment reparations for ADOS and stable marriages? Oh, I absolutely do. I know that where you have some money, then money does not become an issue or an argument in relationships. But obviously, when there's money is absent, that becomes one of the number one things that people argue about. But money does not buy happiness. So I hope that helps. JJ Diesel says very little to control. All right. So let me skip down. The Tiger says Leo DiCaprio also played in Catch Me If You Can. Yep, it was another great movie. And Donna says he pressured her to get married, and she is holding him to those vows. Yeah. So it does sound like it was more him than her wanting to get married. So, yeah, she said that she made a promise and she's not going to, she's never going to divorce. Windchime says, he said they went their own way when he said they should, and she agreed. He kicked her to the curb, which is when the relationship with Aslina happened. So that could be it too. I don't know. Go Glow, how you doing? Says, so what if Jada is a witch? There are other races who are witches too. Stop complaining about people's harmless choices. Monica, how you doing? Says, hi, Dimitri. I blame Jada for everything. She needs to leave Will alone. Stop giving him hope. Just stop putting family business on the streets. Not sure if you talked about it, but Susan Summers just died. Yeah, if you saw it, heard about it before I came on here. This is kind of how I see certain situations too. You know, there's certain relationships where you could tell that one person wants it more than the other. I'll give you a story. There's this people that I know of. The guy has gone off with his boo thing, a side piece or whatever it is, but kind of goes back and forth to his wife every once in a while, and the wife knows about the side piece, and she won't let go. Like, she just does not want to not be with him. And so I said, well, in this particular situation, he should let her go. Clearly, the wife, and they've been together for years, right? Clearly, the wife is not strong enough to let him go. She's willing to put up with the heartbreak and all the nonsense. But in some cases, and I agree, if that's the case with Jada and Will, Jada should let him go so that he can heal and go live a full life if she is indeed stopping him from doing that. But yeah, there's cases where the other one person just won't let go. It's like, I don't care what you do to me, what you say, I'm never going to not want to be with you. I'm going to endure everything you do. And in other case, in that case, as I said, the other person just needs to say, you know what, I'm going to free you. I see that it's going to be on me to free you, and so I'm going to do that. All right, so let's see here. Love JJ says, from our side, I think Will is in fight or flight mode. I think he's just coasting at this point. That slap was only the beginning. Second future outburst, his anger and depression will come out one way or another. Yeah, hopefully he's getting some help. Because, yeah, if he's having some mental health issues, he does need to seek some help. We all do, right? Cosmo said, Will is an actor. He might be a real jerk at home for all we know. Their job is to lie and portray a false image. Yeah, you make a good point. A lot of people are assuming that Will is, you know, he's just sitting at home and I'm an angel. Has anybody seen my halo laying around anywhere? You know, we don't know, right? So that's a good point. Okay, and Soto, you say, wow, that's what Blame It on Rio was about. Yeah, watch it again. You're gonna be like, oh. He says, I was just a kid when that came out. Now I understand why it was popular back then with these Harvey Weinstein-minded people. Yeah, watch it again. You're gonna be like, oh, I don't even know if it's still on, because, you know, especially in the wake of Me Too and all of that. I'm really surprised because I watched it as a kid as well. And I watched it when I was an adult, and I was like they really talk about, you know, being with each other's daughter. It's crazy. And I know that they weren't 18. I want to say she was 15, 16 or something like that. Right. So if y'all check it out, then you have a better understanding. Blame It on Rio is the name of the movie. Let's see here. Tanya, how you doing? Says, I don't think she is that. What comes with the Hollywood territory? She demonized herself. Okay. Joanne says they need to divorce, but Jada's a nasty creature. Tell us how you really feel. Says, and Will should make sure he has excellent lawyers. She's corrupted her own children. Maybe both did, but keep it quiet. It's nasty. Yeah. Go glow. He says, I think it's all fake. If you ask me, Will and Jada are at home laughing at us. They very well might be, right? Let's make them talk about something today. Yeah, I mean, they might be. Tigre says, I think he bungee did something. Yeah, that's what, child. I knew it was something crazy. Yeah, he bungee jumped off a helicopter for his 50th birthday. It's like, you trying to die? Like you're trying to have a birthday and a death day all at the same day? Yeah, well, that was wild, wild. That's what he did. He bungee jumped. Ooh. Joanne says no one supports the fake Israel, only the true Israel. Got you. Uh, and Winshine says they probably are both laughing at people trying to figure it out. Yep. Margie says they say Miss Summers was 76 and she passed from cancer. Oh wow. So yeah, she was up there. But yeah, Chrissy, she would always wiggle and jiggle on on Three's Company. If you think about Three's Company, that was some inappropriate show too, especially for children to be watching. But we thought it was so funny, right? Uh, Donna says Suzanne Summers battled breast cancer for over 20 years. Wow. Okay, so she finally, that's a long time to live with that. So you guys, okay, yep, saying breast cancer. Tanya says Jada is scorned because she was in love with Will, but I think she realized Will is looking elsewhere and she held the secret for years. All right. So we got all these could be these conspiracies of what happened. All right. JJ Diesel says, like I stated before, Will would be better off with Nia Long. I used to have a crush on Nia Long. Yes, Nia Long is beautiful. I would say she's one of the most desired women in Hollywood, Nia Long. But of course, y'all know what happened with her and her fiance. We don't need to revisit that though. But it sounds like Nia, I don't know if she's single, but she was not too long ago. Ja, you say the show is prettier without Donovan. Yes, indeed, prettier. Absolutely. I'm just kidding. All right. So Tanya said Jada is toxic, plain and simple. She very well may be. So yeah, you guys are saying that Suzanne Summers had cancer. Joanne says, girl, you must have hit a nerve with Donovan. Don't even sweat it. Donovan is pro passport, bro, and diluting the black race for massa. Ooh, I don't know if he's doing all of that. I don't know if I hit a nerve. Again, I don't know why Donovan is not here. Usually he is. I mean, usually he does answer his phone or whatever the case is, and maybe he just decided I don't want to do the show anymore. I don't know. Like I said, it's really all kind of speculation at this point, as I'm not talking to him. But whatever he decides, I still love him. And appreciate everything that he has done. So, no ill will or hard feelings for me. Never ever. And that's Samuel, how are you doing? You say, Queen, this is Will's out. It could be if he leaves. Yes, Mike. Janet Hubert, that's her name. I couldn't think of her name. Tigger says, that's good. You didn't let it steal your joy. Oh, no. Now, listen, one thing about me, I've gone through a whole lot in life, and a heated discussion with somebody, I was not going to steal my joy. But I will tell you what will steal my joy is if, for whatever reason, we are no longer friends. I would be kind of bummed out about that. Donovan is one of my dear good friends, so I don't take that lightly. But if he, decides not to be on the show, or for whatever reason he has taken exception to something that I said, I get it. He's entitled to that. But I'm past allowing people to steal my joy. If they do steal my joy, it's gonna be for about 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna get on with life. JJ Diesel, he says Proverbs 21:19. It is better for a man to live in the desert than with a quarrelsome, fretful woman. That is true. I totally agree with that. Be by yourself than to be miserable. And Michael says, Demetri, my friend, is in her early 60s. I had an argument with her in September of this year. I kept coordinating my schedule so many times with her. She canceled one day before meeting up. Yeah, if you keep coordinating your schedule with her and she's not wanting to meet up with you for whatever reason, you might want to just go and meet up with somebody else who wants to meet up with you. Sounds like she's got some other things going on. And this probably has nothing to do with you, but it doesn't sound like she's terribly interested. One thing that I do know is we meet up with people we really want to meet up right? We text people back that we really want to text people back. We call people we really want to see, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying anything bad about you, but go and be with people who want to be with you in whatever regards it is, friendship, relationship. Be around those people. See, I firmly believe that we as humans waste too much time trying to be with people who don't want to be with us. Like, we have to at one point say we are worthy. Like, you don't want to hang around me, you don't want to talk to me, then fine. All right, your loss. I'm going to go hang around people who want to hang around me. I'm going to talk to people who want to talk to me. Because at some point in time, we got to get it in our mind that I am dope and dynamic. I am the bomb. Who wouldn't want to talk to me? Do they know who I am? Like, we really have to have self-talk like that and go about the business of being with people who want to engage with you. It's really that simple. But I'm not going to keep allowing, if I was you, Michael, I wouldn't keep allowing a person to ghost me. That's the terms that they use, right? I wouldn't keep allowing a person to ghost me, because when you set yourself up for a person to keep ghosting you, what you're telling that person is, I think more of you than I think of myself. I have more regards for you than I have of myself. Because, see, to me, Michael, you should get mad enough momentarily to say, hey, F her. F her. She keeps on ghosting me. F her. I'm going to cut her off, or whatever the case is. And if when she gets some sense and she realizes how great of a person I am, and she wants to act right, and if I will allow her to be in my life, because you have a choice too, then cut her off. Just poof, be done with her. And, life will be easier. I hope. Ja, you say Will and Jada prove that life without Black Jesus ain't really worth spit. It's like trading small pleasure for big pain. Honor is a beautiful thing. And Monica says, I think it's important for us, he says, as a melanated collective, not to discuss Gaza. I think that situation will intensify if we put our energy there, like Ukraine wasn't a nuke supposed to drop 1 year ago. Yeah, it's definitely a situation that should be watched. But as far as us getting all wrapped up into it, we got our own issues. You know what I mean? But yes, I don't think that this is going to just end one day like, okay, I think we're tired. We've had enough. I think other nations are going to get involved for sure. Tanya says, no, you can't act that good if he's a good guy, because he's been in the industry for over 30 years. Something would have showed if he was an ass. Yeah, that's possible. And Rage Pinky Toe says they looked at several countries before giving Israel the Palestinian land. And Tigger, you say, plus Jada and the Red Table put all their business out there. Yeah, they were very transparent, if you will. Now, I think that I'm pretty transparent, but I think there's some things you should really keep to yourself and for yourself, because there's always going to be somebody out there. And even if we're not on the internet or TV or whatever it is, even in real life, some things you should keep to yourself, because there'll always be somebody out there taking notes, and then they'll put it in their back pocket for an opportunity to bring it up and say, well, remember when you said you did A, B, C, and D? Oh, you're a horrible person. See what I'm saying? So sometimes we have to keep things to ourselves. Everybody don't need to know everything about you, unless you've done some heinous things or whatever the case is. But yeah, some things just keep to yourself. Like, you have to ask yourself, does anybody really need to know that? If they don't, then keep it to yourself. Donna says the Smiths have no prenup. Nope, they do not have a prenuptial. And Samuel says, Queen, I believe this is all cap to sell her book, Dirty Laundry Sells. You may be right. She is selling a book, and it ain't going to sell itself, right? She got to get out there and drum up some controversy to get you to want to read it. Now, I personally will not read it, as I said. I like autobiographies. I really do. But I don't know if I'm interested enough to read that. I got so many books that I need to be reading. I'm so far behind on my reading. I feel like a horrible person, actually. I need to tighten up on my reading schedule. It's really bad. Michael says Nia Long is very attractive. Yes, she is. She has not missed a beat. Tanya says, well, he's played a lot of stunts in Bad Boy. Will is fit. Bungee jumping is nothing for him. Yeah, I was scared to watch. I was like, oof. That's crazy. Was that the Grand Canyon or something like that? It was kind of wild. Michael says, how about Ja Rule and Nia Long dating each other? I don't know. Ain't Ja Rule married? I don't know. I don't know. Never even thought of them two together. Tanya says, did Jonathan Majors marry Megan Good? I don't know. Oh yeah, Donovan's cool people. Donovan's cool people. Cosmo says, Nia looks good. She was very pretty in her younger years. She looks better than Jada, in my opinion. Yeah, Nia's very beautiful. Jada's beautiful too. She looks like she's kind of had some work done. To me, she does. Tia says the young girls in the movie Blame It on Rio was supposed to be 18. Okay, so they were supposed to be 18. I don't know why I thought somebody in the, I have to look at it again because I was under the impression that they weren't 18. I'm gonna look at it again, but I've seen it, like I said, when I was younger and then I was older. And yeah, I didn't get the impression that they were 18. I could be mistaken, but that's not the impression that I got. Soder says Nia Long, Regina King, all-time favorites. Yeah, Regina King kind of made me raise an eyebrow when she did that movie about Malcolm, Sam Cooke, and was it Muhammad Ali? I can't think of the name of the movie. But she kept on trying to fire on the minister and the messenger, Farrakhan and Elijah Muhammad. She just kept bringing it up. Like, this don't even fit nowhere in the movie. Like, what are we doing here? So I didn't like that. That was very surprising to me about Regina, but I get it. You know, she worked for them folks. So they was talking about Malcolm. So, of course, they had to try to find a way to bring in Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan in a negative light. So I did not like that at all. But I've always loved Regina King. When I was younger, went to see 227, a taping of it, and I was just I just always loved her. I still do. Let's see here. Tanya says self-affirmation is important. Yeah, you gotta think more of yourself than you do of the people who's out there ghosting you, you know? And yeah, Tanya said, right, Michael, she's 60 acting this way. Let her go. She's not worth it. Yeah, she's 60 years old and she ain't got the sense God gave her cricket to say, hey, you know what? I'm just not interested or I'm busy. She's probably not going to change. That woman is probably set in her ways. And that's how she gets down. And I don't know what, y'all are seeking to do or you're seeking to do with her. But yeah, she should be adult enough to say, hey, Michael, after all, I know I said I was going to meet with you, but it's just not something I can do right now. She should be at least be old enough, adult enough to say that. But at 60, yeah, she's set in her ways, and I would only imagine it gets worse. It gets worse from that point, you know. She sounds grumpy and crotchety. I don't know how, if you really want to be around somebody like that. No worry, Buckhorse. I'll be looking at some of your comments sometimes. I'm like, all right, maybe he's talking about something else. Yeah, you're welcome, Michael. He says, I got upset with my friend. Should I apologize to her? Well, what did you say? Did you like go overboard or were you just kind of up to here with it? And what did you say? What happened, if you don't mind? And then I could tell you if I think you should apologize. Yeah, Tigra, friendship goes both ways. It's not me pulling you. I always say I want to be in regards to any relationship. I want to push. Like, here, let me help you. Let me help you along the way. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm pulling, because if I'm pulling, that means I'm doing, most of the work, right? And that means that you're resisting and I'm pulling like, come on. You're like, no. I'm like, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a relationship that's more of a pull than a push, you might not want to engage in that relationship too much longer. In fact, Not Feeling says Black people need to stop marinating in our own ignorance. Knowledge of the Palestinian issue is power. The more you know, the more prepared you will be for your adversary when they attack you. So I totally agree. We should be well abreast of what's going on. However, y'all know on this thing we call it the internet, we as Black people cannot, we're not as free to talk like we want to about certain things. We are just not. I see a whole lot of people. Sean King is one of them. He is actually bringing a lot of light to what's going on in Gaza Strip. And they being Mark Zuckerberg and them, threaten to shut his account down every hour, it seems like. And he says that if they do that, he's going to take them to court because he says that I'm telling the story of the Palestinians that the mainstream media is not telling. They're making it seem like it's the other way around when it's not. So I'd say definitely get well versed of what's going on. But on these airways, if you will, there's just certain things we cannot say without facing a consequence. So I think y'all probably already know that, which is why I said I really can't just give it the conversation I want because it's not going to end well for me. Damon says Suzanne Summers, she passed away, transitioned at 76. Yeah, she had been out of, I guess, the public eye for a long time. And Love JJ says, kind of had some work done. No, she had work done. Oh, you're talking about Jada? Okay. Oh, I made it to the bottom. Yes. Buckhorse here, you say 227. Yeah, that was one of my favorite shows back in the day. Yeah, I was in high school when I went and saw a taping of it. Brenda was Regina King's character. I loved her hair. And it's funny because my mom, her high school sweetheart's name was Calvin, and my mom's name was Brenda. So, she always thought how that, that relationship was similar to one that my mom had. In fact, my mom's high school sweetheart and prom date and all that was Calvin Murphy. You guys know Calvin Murphy. He was an NBA player. He played for the Houston Rockets. And I don't know if he's still doing it, but he's an NBA commentator. I guess he commentates sometimes, or he was for the Houston Rockets. So that was my mom's high school sweetheart. Tell you a funny story. So one year at the All-Star games in Las Vegas, he was sitting at the table with some of the other old timers, and they were autographing things for people. And so I found out that he was there. So I told my mom, I said, hey, Calvin Murphy's here. I'm going to, see if I can find him and say hi or whatever. I get him to sign an autograph. So I go up to the table. Now, I'm probably like maybe 40 at this point, whenever the All-Star game was. So I said, hi, how you doing? He looked, because me and my mom, we look like almost alike. He looks. I said, my mom. And then when I said it, I was like, oh, snap. He probably thinks I'm going to say, you're my dad. Yeah, I'm your long lost child that you didn't know about. You're my dad. Because he was kind of like, and I said, oh, my mom is, Brenda Austin. And he said, oh, my God. He got up and he gave me a hug. And, we took a picture. He was so happy. He called my mom. He's talking to my mom. And, it was just really fun. But I laughed about it because I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I should have phrased that a little better, because he might be thinking I'm coming to say that I'm his long lost daughter or something. Good times, nevertheless. All right. So let's see here. And Tigger says, I'm not interested in her book. Yeah, not really interested in the book either. Michael says, you went overboard with your friend. Like, did you cuss around? Did you say you raggedy? Like, what happened? Like, how bad did it go? And Tigger says, Megan Good is dating Jonathan. I like them together. I like Megan Good and Jonathan Majors together. Y'all know what Jonathan was going through, being accused of doing some things he didn't do to his ex-girlfriend, I guess it was, a white woman that accused him of beating her up. And there's so much evidence to say he didn't do it. For a while, Hollywood tried to cancel him, but it sounds like it backfired. The lady won't even show up to the trial and all of that. And Megan Good was like, all right, I'll sop him up. So I'm not mad at them together. I actually like them two together. As we know, sometimes it takes a good sister, to get a brother back on track. And, Megan seems like the woman for the job. So I'm here for it until further notice, I guess. And Tanya says, okay, so he's talking to Tigre, and strong, humble, and here to learn. How are you doing? Says, oh, Demetra got those lips. I would love to kiss if I was with her. Okay, well, how about this? But how you doing, by the way? Enraged Pinky Toe says, Israel started the war in 1948. We need to pay attention to how they're destroying Black people. Yes, we should definitely pay attention. Trust me, I am never saying we should be remiss and be like, who cares? Who cares what's going on? We should definitely pay attention. I haven't paid attention to too much today because I've been working all day, but I have definitely been glued in, watching it at night, throughout the day, in the morning, just kind of seeing the developments as to what is going on. So we should definitely be paying attention, because in my opinion, I don't think this is going to end well. Of course, we've heard a lot of people talk about World War III being pretty close. So I think I could agree with that. I don't see how this ends peaceably, if that makes any sense. Facts Not Feeling says, I love it when Nia Long used to be in magazines. When I was younger, I could not help taking the mag. You took the magazine in the bathroom to what? To to read? Like, you ain't got to answer that. Buckhorse says, real recognize real all day long. Letitia, how you doing? Long time no see. Shalom to you as well. Tigger says, yes, indeed, we need to know what's going on in the world. Yeah, keep plugged in. Michael, you say you yelled at your friend. Well, I know that cooler heads should prevail and we should try to exercise emotional intelligence. But sometimes when we're in the heat of the moment, things get kind of lit, right? And then we have remorse because it's like, damn, I shouldn't have called her a raggedy, a raggedy heifer, but I did. So if you feel like you went overboard and you owe her an apology, do so. It's not going to kill you, but that doesn't absolve her of her ghosting you, if you will. So let's see here. In fact, not really. Oh, okay. I hope that helps. All right. And so Easy said 100% D. Better pay attention to them folks who finance slavery. Yeah. I don't have my books, but y'all know the books that I have. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews by the Nation of Islam is 3 volumes. I impress upon y'all to read it because it is deep. And when you understand their relationship and our relationship, then you say, okay, I get it. Which is why when we study history and we know what we don't know, then you're not as quick to just jump out there, right? Like you see a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, it's horrible what happened to them. But then when you study history, it's like, very interesting here. Very interesting, So Stephen Hill, how you doing? He says, I can't believe you were going there. Going where? Going where? Enraged Pinky Toe says they throw me in YouTube jail weekly for talking about the Black KKK. You see what I'm saying? So y'all know how it goes. It's certain things you can and you cannot. You just can't. You cannot say on these platforms. Now, when we get our own platforms, we can this, that, the other. This is the truth. We can do all of that then. But until then, we got to kind of play by their rules. And that's kind of how it's been, for Black people in America. Till we get our own, a little bit of something, then yeah, we got to play nice. Oh, yeah, Stevie, talk about, facts not feelings ain't got no sense. Talking about taking a magazine into the bathroom. Buckhorse says, we going to win. We always win. You better believe it. Black people are the strongest people on planet Earth. Debate, it's bar none. There's no debate about it at all. Black people, we are always going to be here to stay. We are the original people, right? We are not going anywhere. Star Child says, Jonathan and Megan make a cute couple. I totally agree. So anyway, as y'all can hear, I'm losing my voice. I love and appreciate every last one of y'all dearly for spending this time with me. You could have been anywhere, but you decided to spend your Sunday evening with me here. So I will be back on Tuesday. Will Donovan be here? I don't know. We'll see. But guess what? I will be here. I surely will. So anyway, until then, of course, y'all, we have our Wealth Wednesday with Walter. So the beat goes on. I will see. And Big C says, you basically called Donovan to be in front of all of us. No, I did not call Donovan a B. No, I did not. I never called Donovan a B. I'll tell y'all what happened. It's on tape or video, whatever. Y'all can go look. I told Donovan, as a lot of times we get into heated discussions, it's fine. But I asked him to stop cutting me off. And he kept cutting me off, wanting to argue over me. And what I said that is a very feminine thing to do. I said, that is feminine to be arguing, because a lot of times women get accused of when we that's feminine, right? It's being emotional. So I said that's very feminine to do. Now, I didn't call him a B word. And trust me, I got a mean B word up in me, right? I do know how to use that word. Trust me. And I don't go around calling people that, but I can use the word. So if I wanted to call Donovan that, I would have called him that. But I did not call Donovan that. So if y'all felt like I called him a B word, my apologies. I did not call him that. I was simply asking him to stop arguing over me. Whenever Donovan speaks, I never cut him off. I sit here and I listen. In fact, anybody who comes on here, if you have something to say, I don't cut you off. I let you speak unless it's like, you kind of really getting long-winded or whatever. I might, all right, hold my hand up, but I sit and I listen because, as I said, communication is not just about talking, it's about listening. But when I have something to say and I am being cut off and argued over, I think that's rude. And if I cannot get control of the situation or say, hey, basically respect my time, let me say what I got to say, then I'm going to do what I need to do. And I wanted to call that to his attention because on this show, I've been called masculine and acting like a man and a whole host of things, including that by Donovan. And I never once got mad or got in my feelings about it. Now, I might have been stern in my rebuttal of that. But like I said, on the show, we should show respect to one another. So anybody who feels like they want to be hollering over people, I say I don't do that because I know on the other side of that, if we're y'all can't hear that. It sounds like wah, 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 wah. That's what it sounds like. Y'all don't hear what we're saying. So I try to keep that in mind. But again, if y'all thought that I called Donovan a B word, which I did not, my apologies. But as I said, it's always going to be all love at the end of the day. At the end of the day on this show, but I'm not going to let people disrespect me. At period, point blank, because I'm not disrespectful of other people. I am one of those people that says master debater. Now I got it up there as a joke, but it's for real, right? I do know the proper argument and argumentation and debate rules, if you will. And I've always been taught if you got to get to where you calling people names and you've lost the argument, and you should probably be quiet until you can strengthen your argument. So as I said, and you guys, I don't have to lie to kick it. Lying is not really my thing. Y'all can go back and watch the copious amount of videos that we've done. But I don't make it a habit to get up here and call people names. But I've been called names. I've been accused of being a whole lot of things. But, at the end of the day, we take it on the chin and we keep on pushing. I mean, that's just all I really have to say about it. As I said, if Donovan wants to come back, I'm not telling him not to come back. I didn't tell him. Again, I don't know. Donovan might be busy. He might, be in Sasua, Dominican Republic, or I don't know where Donovan is. I have not spoken to Donovan. But as I said, if indeed, and I forget who said it at this point, a big C, I think it was, you said that I called Donovan a B. If that's what he is thinking, then he's a big boy. He could call me and say, hey, this is what I feel, or this, that, and the other. We can have a discussion. But until then, I'm not going to speculate what happened with him. I called him. He didn't answer. I sent him a link. He didn't respond. So I'm here at the end of the day. It's my show, and the show will go on regardless of who's on here or not. I'm going to be here. All right, so let me read y'all comments before before we leave out of here. All right. Tanya says, thank you, Demetra. Great content. I try to really bring you guys some great content. I know sometimes it's a hit or a miss or whatever, but we're going to keep trying till we work it out. Enraged Pinky Toe says, stop bringing up Donovan. The lady has addressed it several times. Yeah, sometimes people, come in late and they're like, where's Donovan? Because Donovan is a staple on the show. So they want to know where he is or what happened. So I really don't know, but that's the last thing that I do know. So that's kind of why I was giving that context. Peace unto you as well, Easy. And Brother Sammy, how are you doing? He says, just getting back from seeing the message today. And I have to watch the playback on that because I've been busy all day long. But I am going to watch it. And Facts Not Feelings says, peace and love, family, love, Demetra and Donovan. Absolutely. And Jai says, Donovan is tough as nails and he's got ladies. Enough said. Absolutely. He's definitely tough. Shoot, that man did 16 tours of duty all over the world. If that didn't stop him, I ain't going to stop him. Y'all can believe that. And Donovan ain't going to let me stop him no way, shape, or form. Plus, he way too stubborn for that anyway. Tigger says, I hit the like button. I'm enjoying this chat. Well, I am so happy that you did. I'm happy that you're enjoying this chat and this channel. Blessings to you as well. MC Fact, how are you doing? Hopefully you heard me and my explanation. Michael said, Demetra, do you have after hours? After hours, what? I do, if you guys do not know, have a consulting business. I do free consultations. You guys can go on my website, DemetraK.com, book a consultation if you want to talk about not anything, but in regards to learning how to communicate better, regardless of what it is you're trying to do, a podcast, you're a teacher, whatever it is you're trying to do, you book a free consultation with me, or we can discuss, whatever it is you might have on your mind. I'll try to help you. So just putting that out there. In fact, my feelings says, Demetra, me and Demetra could never be friends because after a heated discussion, it will be time to do a whole lot of kissing and making up. And if we just friends, that's not going to work. Well, yeah, Donovan and I we are truly, we're more than just friends. We are great friends. I've known him for a very long time. And this is not the first time that Donovan and I have had a disagreement. It's not unusual. Sometimes, people, for whatever reason, feel a certain type of way. But again, don't quote me. Donovan might be skydiving in the Maldives somewhere. So it's no telling where Donovan is. DJ PD, how you doing? And happy birthday to you. I think you just had a birthday, so happy birthday. Says I hope you and Donovan work that out. Oh, we gonna be good. I ain't worried about Donovan. And then if not, I go back to California. I know where he lives. I kidnap one of his cats or something, hold it for ransom. Maybe two, because he's got a lot of cats. I might need to get two of them. All right. Well, Michael, hit me up and we'll make it happen. And Tigger says, I didn't see that chat with Donovan. Yeah, it did get kind of heated. So Patty says, Demetra, do you offer advice on career changes? I do. So if you guys are interested in that, DemetraK.com, fill out the thing and I'll get the email in regards to that. And then we can go from there. So it is a free consultation. It is my pleasure, Perry. So anyway, you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you here on Tuesday. Until then, you all be blessed. Tigger Donovan is my co-host. Go back and watch some of the other shows, and you'll see who Donovan is. He is a force to be reckoned with, whether we like it or not. So anyway, until then, peace.